Okay, this is our algebra video, chapter 1.5. It's about problem solving plan, making a plan. This is very good for solving word problems. It's just a four-step process that you go through to help you understand the problem. You're going to make a plan, and then you're going to go ahead and solve it. And then you are going to look back at the problem itself and your answer to make sure that it does make sense. So, step one in this case is you want to read and understand. My suggestion is read through it once, don't do anything, just read through it and absorb what you can absorb. Then you reread to fill in any question marks, any uncertainties that you have to make sure that you fully understand the problem, okay? So here's our example, running, all right? It says you run in a city, all right? Short blocks are north and south, so there's north, there's short, there's south, excuse me, and this is our short. Block, which is 0.1 miles, 1/10 of a mile. And then it says long blocks are east and west. So here's my west, here's my east, and the length of the long blocks are 0.15 miles long, 15/100ths of a mile long. And it says you will run 2 long blocks east. So give me another color there. Let's start here. We're going to start right here. We run 2 long blocks east. So I know that's 0.3 miles, right? And then it says you're going to run a number of short blocks south, right there, okay? So I'm just going to put dotted because I don't know how many that is. And then it says then you're going to run 2 long blocks west. So we're going to come back in this direction, west, right? And then back to our starting point, which means I'm going to have to run some short blocks to get back to my starting point. All right. It says that you want to run 2 miles, so that's a key piece right there. And it says at a rate of 7 miles per hour, and how many short blocks must you run? All right. So here's my question right here. My unknown is how many short blocks. That's my variable. And right now, I don't think that 7 miles at rate really has anything to do with me trying to solve this, but I will keep that in mind just in case I do need it. But anyway, so let's make a plan. So I think I'm going to take all this information right here, and I am going to write an equation. It's the same process that we went through when you had a verbal expression, and you had to write an algebraic expression from that, or an equation or inequality from that. So that is my plan. So right now, let's look at turning this verbal problem into an actual equation. So I know that the number of short blocks is 0.1, 1/10 of a mile. S is the unknown. That's what we're solving for. 0.15 is the length of the long block. I know that I went 2 east and I went 2 west, a total of 4. So I know this total right here is 0.6 miles, right? All right, that's actually important. And I know I'm going to run 2 miles. So let's rewrite this in a manner that's a little bit more pleasing, if you will. So that's 0.1 s plus 0.15 times 4 is equal to 2. All right. Then I am going to get a different color there. So if I go ahead and multiply that, that's 0.6. And then if I subtract 0.6 from both sides, that's 1.4. Then if I divide both sides by 0.1, I find out that this is 14. So I know that the number of short blocks is 14. All right. So now I'm going to look back and see, look back at what I have, the answer that I got, and make sure that it makes sense to the problem that I was reading. So if I notice that before I even start a number of short blocks, I will run an actually 0.66 of a mile. All right, so that's the total distance on your long blocks. And then if you notice, I'm running 0.2 for each 2 short blocks. I'm running 0.2, if you will, of a mile. So 2 short blocks plus the 2 long blocks, 0.8. We're going to skip 6 short blocks. Plus my 2 long block, or my 4 long blocks, if you will, is 1.2 and so forth. And then down here is 14 with 14 short blocks, and then that's which is 1.4. I actually and then add in the 0.6, which is my long blocks. That gets me a total of 2 miles. So when I look back at the problem itself, that actually does make sense. The answer actually does make sense. Okay, so that's your process. You read to understand, and read it multiple times to make sure you fully understand. Make sure you understand what you do have, what's given, and what you need to find. Number 2 is make a plan. It could be just drawing a picture. It could be drawing a number line. It could be taking a verbal text, if you will, and writing an algebraic equation to it, like like what we did. And then the third step is you actually solve it. Fourth step, look back at take your answer, look back at the actual problem, and does it make sense? Okay? That's it for the video, and we'll see you tomorrow.